Yikes. Knuckles. So Knuckles is a spin-off of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. It's a 6-episode miniseries that's streaming on Paramount Plus, and I was looking forward to this show because I really like Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And despite this show, I'm still looking forward to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So in this Knuckles miniseries, it's the downtime between movies, and Knuckles the echidna is adjusting to life on Earth. He's still got that warrior's mindset since that's all he knows, that's how he was raised. He doesn't really know how to relax. He needs something to do, so he goes on a side quest with Deputy Wade Whipple and kind of takes him in as his protege. And now we have our 6-episode comedy. I'm sure you could tell by now, I was not a big fan of this little miniseries. Cause yeah, oh my god, it fell off. I had high hopes for this, man. Cause I mean, we're springboarding off of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which had some great moments between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles that really nailed the vibe of those characters and why I love them. And so, alright, a little spin-off series about Knuckles going on a side quest, that could be really cool. What do we get instead? We get a Nickelodeon-level comedy that really feels like it focuses more on Wade than Knuckles. I really mean that, dude. I mean, Knuckles the Echidna, he's still voiced by Idris Elba, and he still does a great job. And I like the scenes with him in this series. I mean, he's fun to watch. He does have his funny-ish moments, and his action scenes were pretty cool. But I am not lying when I say that it feels like he has less focus in this series called Knuckles than Wade. And Wade Whipple, once again played by Adam Pally, he was in the Sonic movies. He was that annoying side character, you know, the bumbling buffoon. And in this miniseries, he feels like the main character who's a bumbling buffoon. He was never funny. I still don't think he's funny. But his whole emotional character arc that he goes through does feel like the main focus of this miniseries, called Knuckles. Yeah, that sounds kind of backwards, doesn't it? I mean, I'm all for a story about a side character coming into their own in the spotlight, especially since the trailer for this series was like, most people think I'm a joke. And Knuckles like, I don't make jokes, I make warriors. So I was like, all right, this could be where he transitions from bumbling side idiot character to a fleshed out character who I can take seriously. Well, he does get fleshed out in this miniseries, I won't argue that, but I am nowhere closer to taking him seriously. He's still a bumbling buffoon. And not only that, but while we're on this side quest to Reno, Nevada, we also meet Wade's family, which consists of his mom and his sister. And his sister Wanda, I don't know how you could have made a character more annoying than Wade himself, but they managed it here with Wanda. I repeat, annoying. FBI agents are not like this, and I get it. The series is for kids first and foremost. I know that. But this is a point that I'm gonna get into in a minute. Kids will probably laugh at this character's behaviors, but I never did. In fact, I cringed at most of them. And then there are these villains that are going after Knuckles. They want his power. It's funny, one of them is this British agent. She has this scene with Knuckles where she's like, you know nothing about me. And right there, I was like, ooh, this is actually a pretty good scene. Like, it looks like this villain could actually mean business. Where does that go from there? Nowhere. There's never a scene that feels like that ever again in the series. I mean that. So this character is wasted potential. The main villain, who's played by the Hound from Game of Thrones, guy was damn near unrecognizable. But yeah, I'm not gonna remember this villain tomorrow. I mean, cause first of all, he barely has any screen time, which means he's not memorable at all. In fact, he's never even named in this series. He doesn't have a name. I guess he's just the buyer. I wouldn't even call him the main villain of this series if I'm being honest. Nah, I'd say that's Pistol Pete, played by Cary Elwes, who I'm sure had no idea he was being filmed here. He was kind of fun to watch in that lowbrow, silly Nickelodeon humor kind of way, but again, because of that, I'm probably not gonna remember him, as I'm probably not gonna remember most of this series. There are some cool action scenes with Knuckles that are sprinkled throughout the show. When Knuckles throws down with his strength, it's really cool to watch. That's why I watch this thing. But really, those action scenes are so few and far between, while for most of it, it is a quote-unquote comedy about these side human characters who end up being the main human characters. I know that just sounds impossible. You're like, Andy, you gotta be exaggerating a little bit. No, it's true. These human characters do get more focus and screen time than Knuckles, so much so that there are even a couple of episodes here that Knuckles, the title character, is barely in. That's real. Like, come on, I was not anticipating this Knuckles miniseries because I wanted to see Wade. I was anticipating this Knuckles miniseries because I wanted to see Knuckles. That's not a ludicrous request from a Knuckles miniseries. And you know what? This even would have worked. Focusing more on these human characters, they could have made it work if I could take them seriously at all. But I really couldn't because their humor is just that lowbrow, kiddie-level Nickelodeon humor. Which, like I said, I understand this is aimed at kids, and you could argue the Sonic the Hedgehog movies are as well. And yeah, those movies do have humor that is very kid-level, but they do also have some awesome Sonic moments that keep adults who grew up with the Sonic games entertained. This Knuckles miniseries, aside from the couple of action scenes that are in there, is mostly just that lowbrow Nickelodeon humor. Which, like I said, if you're a kid, you're gonna love it. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna have a good time. Power to you. Keep having fun, little kid, and you enjoy it while it lasts. I am not a kid. I'm in my late 20s. I'm a little more mature. I like to think so anyway. I think I might have laughed out loud once in this entire miniseries. I don't even remember which scene it was, but other than that, I never so much as chuckled for Knuckles. In fact, there was a low point in this series where it just got over the top and ridiculous to the point where I was straight up like, this is really stupid. It was dumb. I was having no fun with it. Again, I feel like really little kids will laugh at it. Everyone else who's older will be beating their heads against the wall. Because not only was this scene really stupid, but it went on for an uncomfortably long amount of time. It even seems like it's gonna end. We're like, all right, we're moving on. And then it goes back. And I was like, oh God, no, we're not done. Ugh, more of this? It was awkward, man. There's one part of that scene that looked visually really cool. I'll admit it. But aside from that, it was all dumb. Like really dumb. In the end, that's what I can say about this Knuckles series, man. It was a huge minus point for me, which bums me out because I thought these Sonic movies were heading in a good trajectory. Again, I'm still looking forward to Sonic the Hedgehog 3 because I'm looking forward to seeing Shadow the Hedgehog in action, who's voiced by Keanu Reeves, which is going to be awesome, plus all the Sonic Adventure 2 references that the movie's going to have, and Live and Learn. It's probably going to be cool. While this Knuckles miniseries, I'm probably going to look back on and be like, yeah, that never happened. Because it focuses too much on Wade and his unfunny comedic antics. The whole show was more comedy than it needed to be. Even the way it ended, I was like, what? That's how you decided to end this series? Really? There is a mid-credit scene that makes it a little more bearable, but still. The score had some good moments. I will say, the score had some pretty good moments. I mean, no music that I recognize from any of the games, so that's out the window. But some good heroic-sounding moments in the music when Knuckles sprang to action. I was like, alright, good job, brass section there, that was cool. But otherwise, a mostly forgettable score. Fitting for this mostly forgettable miniseries. Cause yeah, Knuckles was a huge letdown. Even the visual effects were not as good as those in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. They just overall looked a little glossier, like it was made for TV. This is my least favorite installment of the Sonic the Hedgehog cinematic franchise so far, and here's hoping that if they decide to do any more spin-offs, they'll listen to criticisms and they'll be better. But for now, Knuckles, have you watched it? What are your thoughts on it? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!